skills. One will have the basic grounding skills in order to perform a very basic, again the word's basic, clairvoyant reading. Will have enough information that they can be working on their own. I start by teaching a meditation called Running Energy, which is really about boundaries issues. A lot of people that have intuitive abilities have boundary issues, like who am I and who are you, and or is that your thought or is that my thought, and where do you begin and I end, and other people don't have these issues, okay? But it's really common. You get a bunch of clairvoyants in one room and there will be some boundary issues, you know? And so the first thing we teach is how to work with holding your own space and staying in your body and keeping a sense of what your space is and what somebody else's is, what somebody else's thought is, and what is yours. And also just
the fact that you're doing a grounding exercise is you're helping people to be in their body, which is where it all starts, really. All the healing starts. Exactly. By the way, I've been just waved. I have to do a station ID. You're listening to CIDI 99.1 FM. You're listening to The Alternatives. You have choices with your host, Ilya Kavukis, and our guest, Trisha Pope. You can get lots of our information on our website, sunshinecenter.ca. Center is spelled T-E-R. And Trisha also has a website called trishapope.com.
That's TRISHAPOPE.com.
Thank you for that. So let's keep going. Your training, which is 4 Sundays of October, with a couple of hours on a Friday night, a little intro. Who would want to come and do this? Just give us an idea. Well, can anybody?
Yeah. I mean, when I did my training, just to give you an example, going out of a stereotype, there was a garage mechanic that took it. Okay, 2 years he took it. He said it was really great in his work. Okay. Mostly for dealing with the people around him.
Did he try to tune into his cars?
No, this guy was super great.
What does his car really need right now? It doesn't need new shocks. It needs new tire rod. Yeah, that's it.
He was very happy with what the training was giving him. A very interesting character. You know, there was a.
You never know, right?
You never know. Of course, a lot of people who are in the healing arts come. When I did my training, there was a lawyer and there was a doctor, an allopathic doctor that also came, because she thought that if she could work clairvoyantly with her patients, she was actually worked with children, that it would really be helpful.
But was she considered after that a medical intuitive?
I don't think she went that far. I think she was very happy with her practice. All she wanted to do was expand her third eye so that she could be working on all the levels.
Wonderful.
And trust it more.
Wonderful.
Which I think is fantastic. Same with the lawyer.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, many people in business, by the way, do clairvoyant or some kind of intuitive training because it's the gut hunches. That give you the information. It's gut hunches. It's just you get a feeling about something and you go for it. It's not logic that takes you everywhere. So you'd be really surprised in these classes who comes. However, of course, there's a lot of energy workers, people that are doing like Reiki and body work, and because they want to add this to their ability to work with clients, it fits very perfectly into energy work, long distance healings, that kind of thing. Yeah, you'd be quite surprised. So it's really anybody that's interested in all walks of life, in every village, in every tribe, in every town, you're going to find somebody in that town that people know has the sixth sense.
A strong sixth sense.
Strong sixth sense.
Because we all have the sixth sense.
Exactly.
It's whether we choose to listen to it or not.
But somebody that really has come from, it's just around,
That's right.
So those people tend to come forward and want to train it.
So what would somebody expect at the end of this training? It's 24 hours, I believe. Already.
At the end of this training, you will be able to do a basic reading of another person.
Okay.
And in a very simple format with very specific rules. It's sort of just you got to do it a certain way. After doing this many years, it gets more open and you have different approaches.
Okay.
But at the end of 24 hours, you will be able to do a clairvoyant reading.
Fascinating.
Yes.
Do you ever get any do you openly talk about what you do? Are you a bit shy to tell people that you're? Because I know primarily you're a sound therapy healer. Do you add on the sentence and a clairvoyant?
I've been doing that increasingly in the last 3 years. I've been putting the clairvoyant on there as well. Depends on who you're talking to. I have no desire to offend anybody. And sometimes when you're entering into the territory of, because of our history of the witch burnings and the fear around the invisible world that our culture still holds.
Yeah.
Some people have ideas about it that are just not the truth and haven't come around to looking at those beliefs yet. So I don't usually try to challenge those people. I'm not really into that kind of thing.
Yes,
I just usually use the word intuitive.
Intuitive.
Intuitive. For some reason that sounds less threatening to people. So it depends, but I am teaching it now, teaching it in Montreal as well. And so this will become more present.
Yes, and I'm sure you feel right at home in the community of Sutton.
I already do. I'm just having a wonderful time in Sutton.
Sutton's great.
It's a lovely
tends to attract a lot of artists, but a lot of alternative therapists as well, massage therapists, as you said, body workers, Reiki practitioners. We'll talk about Reiki at another show. It's a type of energy work. You've mentioned it already today. So Sutton, I feel right at home. I've been there for 8 years myself, and I feel right at home in Sutton. And I have to tell you, I am going to take your training because I think it's great, even if it's not to become a clairvoyant myself, just as you said, to get a better idea of the gut instincts, the hunches that we get, and what do they mean, and also we were talking about before we started the show here, we were talking about visiting Montreal because we like going to Montreal and getting our fill of music and culture and food. But when I go there, I feel I'm hypersensitive.
Yeah.
I feel like I pick up on people's stuff, their anxiety, their frustration, their fears. And I come out of Montreal, I could be there maybe 3-4 hours, and I'm exhausted. And I'm full of these weird feelings. And as soon as I cross that bridge, it's like it starts going away slowly. And I get back here, and I'm just like, where's a tree? Where's a tree? I have to hug a tree.
So you're one of those tree huggers, are you?
I'm a tree hugger. I'm a tree hugger. And I am not shy to say so. I find nature in general helps to heal us tremendously.
Yeah, so true.
Back to clairvoyant, this wonderful topic.
Well, let me just say something. Like going to the city, the same thing happens to me. Okay,
I imagine.
It's just I have a couple of tools.
Oh, wonderful!
to
work
with
them with us?
Yeah. Well, this meditation I was talking about, running energy, is really, really good because it's a way to move energy out of your space. Once you identify that something that you're feeling is not your own,
that's what you offer in the training.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
That's
running
correct.
energy.
That's correct. That's something I offer in the training. It's the first thing I teach on the Friday night. Once you identify that something you're feeling is not your own, which is like 90% of the way there, right? then I offer this training of how to move it out and to get your own space back. So, for example, when I go to Montreal and I know what you're talking about, I might be standing in Starbucks and I'm running my energy trying to get myself grounded and aligned again because I am picking up other people's and so you do get better and better and better at that. So you become less affected or more aware when you are affected and just respond to that.
And try to let it go, I guess.
Yeah, I go into more detail on that. There's an awful lot of work we do on how to hold one's own space, is what it's called.
Wonderful. This is just fascinating. I love this particular topic. I think when I was a child, I did have some sensitivities, but I was brought up in a very typical Greek family. And although, we did experiment with herbs like chamomile if we had a bellyache or whatever, we were close to eating well and whatnot. Clairvoyant and anything esoteric, out of the ordinary,